And now to the other stock that's on our radar today. Macy's, higher after the company said a $21 per share takeover offer from Arkhouse Management and Brigade Capital Management lacks, quote, compelling value. Arkhouse CEO and managing partner Gabriel Kahan on Bloomberg TV a little earlier saying he is hopeful that it can increase Macy's offer and that it has close to 50% of equity to close the Macy's deal.
All right, so let's get to it. As we said, Macy's up about 2.6% in the trade, off its highs of the session, but still trending higher. We've got with us Bloomberg Intelligence Senior Retail Analyst Mary Ross Gilbert. She's joining us from our LA bureau. All right, Mary, what do we need to know here? Macy's has got to feel good that it got an offer, but they're not very happy with it. Is it just they're not happy at this price, or I don't know, how are you thinking about it and how are you analyzing it?
Yeah, so one of the things that we've done when we've looked at the department stores is we took the time to value the real estate. And so for Macy's, we valued the real estate at $8 billion. So when you look at this transaction, and this transaction, it's, the $21 per share, that actually works out to a total enterprise value of about $8 billion. So it's basically saying that they're going to get the retail business for free. So that's how we look at it. But it's also a little more complex when you think about how do we extract the value from that real estate. And this was something that was explored in the past by previous investors. For example, Starboard back in 2016 had proposed taking Macy's real estate and spinning it into another entity. And at that time, they were saying, hey, maybe the stock is worth something like $60 a share. And at that time, Macy's stock was trading around $40. In this instance, you have Arkhouse who's saying, yeah, we might raise our bid.
Right.
Macy's is very constructive here. And, they've obviously brought in all their advisors, which included real estate advisors, and they looked at it very closely. And I think that, they need to see something more serious.
Hey, Mary, when I hear about a takeover and spinning off real estate, I think of Eddie Lampert and Kmart and Sears and all that good stuff, which did not work out well.
I was going to say, how did that go?
Not so well. Apples to apples, apples to oranges. We shouldn't even be thinking that here.
No, that was a total disaster.
Okay.
That's yeah, fair. No, and look, if you look at the different investors that have targeted real estate, so for example, more recently you had Franchise Group, which made an offer, and they do have a portfolio of companies, and they're retail oriented. So when they went after Kohl's, yes, there's the real estate value, but they were also interested in the retail concept and the potential there. And they, of course, had a serious bid, and then Kohl's rejected it. And now the stock's down about 60% since that time.
Hey, Mary, JP Morgan analysts put a 50-50 odds on this deal actually happening. What are your odds? Do you think it's going to happen?
I don't see it, not at the current proposal, absolutely not. First of all, I think it's low. And second of all, it doesn't sound like we have definitive financing. When you go through how it was going to be structured, they were talking about 25% equity. Arkhouse, in that interview you referred to earlier, said, no, it's really going to be 50%. But there must be some sort of nuance on how they're classifying what constitutes equity to get to that 50%. If Macy's is saying, no, it was really 25%, and then how real is the financing, and what would that structure really look like?
So Mary, outgoing and longtime CEO of Macy's, Jeff Gannett, putting out a statement on Sunday, says Macy's continues to be open to opportunities that are in the best interest of the company and all our shareholders. So I don't know, what are the opportunities that you think are most likely for Macy's going forward? And we just got about 40 seconds left here.
Yeah, so obviously the management team has to continue to execute on their plan, and they've really done a great job, I think, really improving the overall execution of the business, but there's more to go, and I think they're just really challenged with the mall platform that they have and the department store structure itself. And I think some of the ideas that they have could work, but it's just going to take a long time to get there, from what we can tell. And I think that Tony Spring, the incoming CEO, is really going to up the game. But we'll learn more, what that involves. We already had the layoffs announced. That makes sense. You need to streamline, especially when revenues are lower as they were in 2023. But, could they get a bid from someone else? That's always possible.
Yeah, it's really interesting. All right, and I should point out Macy's shares, while they're up today, they're down almost 10% so far here in 2024. Bloomberg Intelligence Senior Retail Analyst Mary Ross Gilbert, thank you so much. Really appreciate you weighing in on this Monday. She, of course, joining us from our LA bureau.
She mentioned the layoffs, 3.5% of its workforce that was announced last week.